You get paid weekly. You get paid every week. They pick the day, usually Thursday or Friday. And you get 52 checks a year. Weekly is challenging for budgeting because you have small amounts all the time. And so if you have a large bill, it can be, like rent or car payment or something. It can make it difficult. Biweekly and semi-monthly are the best for budgeting. You get paid every other week for biweekly, so that gives you 26 checks per year because it's 52 weeks divided by 2 gives you 26. And semi-monthly, you get paid twice per month. A lot of times it's like the 1st and the 15th, or the 15th and the last day of the month, something like that. And you get 24 checks per year. These checks are double what you get weekly, so that makes it easier for budgeting because you have twice as much money, and also you get it twice a month. So if you have bills that are due at the beginning of the month, you pay them with the one check, and bills in the middle or the end of the month, you pay them with the other check. And then you have monthly, where you get paid once a month, usually the 1st, the 15th, or the last day of the month. It's nice because the checks are big. It stinks because the checks are 30 or 31 days apart. So you run out of money before you run out of month. It can be difficult. So budgeting with monthly is also kind of challenging because you have to plan for the whole month in advance. And you get 12 checks per year. You can get direct deposit from, I would say most employers are offering direct deposit now. Like maybe the small businesses aren't, but most of the larger employers are. And your check gets deposited directly into your bank account. The benefits are you do receive it earlier. For example, if you get paid on Fridays and you have direct deposit, it'll either be in your bank at midnight on Thursday night or like 8 a.m. on Friday morning. Whereas if you get a paper check, you may not get it until 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and then you have to go to the bank after work, and so it's like 6 o'clock before you even deposit the money, which means it's not available until possibly Monday, depending on your bank. Because if they don't count Saturday as a business day, then they don't make the funds available till Monday. So direct deposit is better because you can get your money a lot earlier. Also, you don't have that paper waste of the paycheck because most of the direct deposit pay stubs are electronic. Any questions? Hourly rate is the amount of money you receive each hour. You guys have all had jobs, so you know about this. Your regular hours are your normal hourly rate, paid up to 8 hours per day in some states. Florida is not one of them. Florida is weekly, 40 hours a week. So if you worked 20 hours one day and 20 hours the next day, you still wouldn't get overtime unless you continued to work for the rest of the week. Some states, though, do have the 8-hour clause on their overtime to where if you work more than 8 hours in a day, you get paid overtime. And then some states say 10 hours, and then you get paid overtime. But it's 40 hours per week nationwide. That's the same everywhere. Overtime is any hours that you work over 40 hours a week, and you're paid at a higher rate, which is dictated by the state. In Florida, the law says you have to be paid time and a half, at least. They can pay you more than that if they want, but they have to pay you at least time and a half on overtime. In some states, they have to pay you double time. To calculate time and a half, you do 1.5 times your normal hourly rate. And to calculate double time, you do 2 times your normal hourly rate. Now, jobs that are exempt from overtime are salaried positions. If you are on salary, a lot of times you do not get paid overtime, but then you also don't get deducted if you work less than 40 hours a week too. Usually. It depends on the company. Minimum wage is federally and state mandated. Federal law says the very bare minimum that any state can pay, and then individual states can raise their minimum wage above that if they choose to. But that's the minimum that you can make anywhere, and I have a really interesting article on minimum wage that I want to show you guys. She gets paid biweekly, and her annual salary is $37,000. So we want to find out her biweekly salary, and biweekly is 26. So we take her 37,000 and we divide it by 26 weeks, or not weeks, paychecks. And so her paycheck is 142,308 before tax. And then Manny is paid semi-monthly. His semi-monthly salary is $1,239, and we want to go his annual salary, so we're going to go the other direction. Semi-monthly is 24 checks. So I'm going to do $1,239 times 24. And so Manny is making $29,736 a year. And finally we have Maureen, who gets 40 hours a week at $9.70 an hour working at Chicken King. Chicken King pays pretty well, it looks like. So we're going to take her 970, multiply that by 40 hours. And she is going to make $388 per week times her regular hourly rate. And her regular hourly rate was $970. So she gets 1.5 times her regular wage. So we do that times 1.5. And her overtime rate is $14.55. Okay, so that's how she calculates overtime wages. Janice is earning $10 an hour, and she works 40 hours per week, and she gets time and a half over that. And so then we need to figure out how much money is she going to get if she works 45 hours. So she has 40 regular and 5 overtime. Her regular hours are times 10. She has 5 overtime hours, which are at 1.5 times 10. So this is 400. And this is 75. So her paycheck is $475. Okay, Samantha worked 40 hours last week plus 7 overtime hours at the time and a half rate. And she got paid $611, so now we're going to figure out her hourly rate. So she got 40 hours at her regular rate. And then she had 7 hours at 1.5 times her regular rate. And that equaled her paycheck. So I have 40x plus 10.5x. So that's 50.5. And then we're going to divide both sides by 50.5. And she earned $12.10 an hour on her regular hourly rate. Okay, commission is a salary paid based off an amount of sales that was made. Commissions can be paid either by percentage or at a flat rate. So for example, percentage, it could be 10% of your total sales. Or at a flat rate, it would be, like $15 for every 500 you sell or something like that. The royalties are a type of commission. As a matter of fact, it's exactly the same thing as a commission. It's just paid on artistic endeavors instead of sales. I mean, a lot of it's sales though, because royalties are paid on music sales, book sales, movie sales, things like that. But it's artistic people get royalties as opposed to a salesman who gets commission. It's really the only difference. So, all the actors that were just in Jurassic World are very happy right now because they're making royalties off that movie's gross. And I don't know if you guys heard, but that's like the largest grossing movie of all time now or something. Yeah. And it's only been open for like 2.5 weeks or something. So those actors are very happy if they are set up on a royalties scenario because they're making a lot of money right now. Piece workers are people that get paid per item that they produced. Now this can be an actual physical item that they build, or it can be like if you're getting paid piecework, for example, if you work in like farm industry, you get paid per basket of apples you pick or something like that. And then the piecework rate is the amount of money that you get paid per item. It can be a set rate to where it's always the same. So like if you're a piece worker in a dress shop, that you get paid per dress, and then you get paid $50 per dress all the time, every dress. Or it can be on a sliding scale, which is used to increase production. That might say like for the first 10 of these you do, you get paid this much each. But then if you do more than 10, you get paid this much each. And if you do more than 20, you get paid this much each. And so they try to increase the number that you do in order to get you to do more, because you want to work faster so that you get that higher rate. Any questions on that stuff? Adriana wrote a textbook for high school students, and she gets 10% commission royalty on the total sales of the book. The book sells for $47.95, and 17,000 copies were sold. This would probably be like my numbers because there's not really a lot of people buying math books. We want to know how much did she get. Okay, so first we had to find out what are the total sales of the book. There's 17,000 books that were sold at $47.95 each. So we're going to multiply those. Okay, so the total sales of the book was $815,150. She's going to get 10% of that. So remember, we have to convert this to a decimal, so that's 0.1. Yeah. She's getting $81,515 for royalties for her book. Not bad at all. Okay, Allison sells cosmetics part-time from door to door. Avon calling. And she's paid monthly commission. And this is a sliding scale commission. She sells 11%. She gets 11% for the first 900 and 17% anything over 900. Last month she sold $12.50 worth of cosmetics. So how much commission did she earn? Well, first we have to find out how much over the 900 is she. So this is 350 over 900. The 900 is at 11%, and 350 will be at 17%. So we take 900 times 11% plus 350 times 17%. And we get 158.50. Mm-hmm. Okay, Kate works in a dress factory, and she gets paid piecework. She gets $85 per unit, so that's per dress. And yesterday she made 3 dresses, so how much money did she make? She made $255 yesterday. That's actually pretty good. Tony, on the other hand, picks strawberries and gets paid 45 cents per container for the first 200 and 65 cents per container for every container over 200. And last week he picked 270 containers, so we have to figure out. He picked 270 minus that 200 at 45 cents, which gives him 70 at 65 cents. So this batch got him $90, and this batch got him $45.50. So altogether, he made $135.50 picking strawberries. So if you they don't pay the commission on the price of the car itself, but they pay the commission on the profit. So the difference between what the car sells for and what they paid for it. And that's why car salesmen can finagle the price of the car, is because what they're doing is they're damaging their own commission when they do that. So if the car profit is under 750, the commission is 20%. If it's 750 up to 1,000, it's 22%, and if it's above 1,000, it's 25%. So we're going to compare the difference in commission between 749 and 750, and 1,000 and 1,001. And this is going to show you why they will finagle you over the smallest amount of money. Okay, so $749 is under the 750, so it's going to be at 20%. $750 is going to be at 25%. Okay, so there's a $1 difference in the profit on the car. That $1 made a difference of $40 for that car salesman. So they'll hit a point where they will lower it to this point and this point only. They will not go past that point because it makes a huge difference in their check, as you can see. $1 can make a $40 difference. And let's look at the difference between 1,000. 1,000 is going to be at that 25%, and 1,001. Oh gosh, I did that wrong. That should have been 22%. Sorry. Should have been 22%. That's what I get for reading, or not reading, rather. Okay, so it's not a $40 difference, but it's a $20 difference. Okay, the 1,000 is at the 22%, the 1,001 is at the 25%. So this is a $220 commission versus a $250 commission. Yeah. So that $1 made a $30 difference. So as you can see why, like, you would not want to go that one extra dollar off on the car, because then that's one extra dollar less on the profit, which means $20 or $30 less on your paycheck if you're a car salesman. Okay, this way we're going to go backwards. We know Joyce earns 10% on her first 900 in sales and 15% on the balance, and last week she made $750. So we're going to figure out what were her sales based on how much she made on her check. So she gets 10% of 900. Okay. And then she gets 15% of the balance. And the way we figure out the balance is we take how much she sold minus the $900 that's coming here. and then that equals her paycheck. Okay. So this is 90. I distributed the 0.15. And so I get 90 plus 0.15x minus 135 is equal to 750. So I get 0.15x minus 45 is equal to 750. And I'm going to bring that up here. Add 45 to both sides. And you get 0.15x is equal to 795. Divide both sides by 0.15, and you get her sales, which is $5,300. So for any problem like this where they're telling you the paycheck and there's a sliding scale commission, the balance of her pay or whoever's is going to be X minus whatever this first number is.